metrology and measurement in our metrology and quality control lab here. Today we are going to conduct practical of measurement of linear dimension using the linear measuring instruments. As we have covered linear measuring instruments like Vernier, Caliper, micrometer in our curriculum or the syllabus given by the NSBT. So let's begin with our practical number 2. For practical number 2, for linear measurement, the first instrument which today we are going to study and learn about is Vernier caliper. As you can see, the instrument which I am holding is the Vernier caliper. This is made up of hardened stainless steel. Also, the components of Vernier caliper are, as you can see here, these are the two internal jaws provided, and here are the two external jaws. The main purpose of providing these two internal jaws, or the function of the two internal jaws, is that for measurement of linear internal dimension, we are holding the workpiece between these two. And if we are measuring the external dimension, at that time the workpiece is being held between these two external jaws. After fixing the component between the jaws, we are provided with the locking screw where we can fix the component between the jaws. Also, for measuring the depth measuring blade is also provided. As you can see, the two scales are given on the Vernier caliper, which are one of which is empirical scale and another is metric scale. And for performing our practical of linear measurement, we are going to refer for the metric. Now we are going to measure the thickness for this cylindrical plate using the Vernier caliper. So first step in this procedure of using the Vernier caliper is to hold the workpiece, of which the dimension we have to measure, we have to hold it between the jaws. As this thickness is the external dimension, so we are going to hold this cylindrical disc between the external jaws of the Vernier caliper. And now after holding between the jaws, we are going to fix the jaw between the jaw with the help of these locking screws. Right. For taking the reading for the thickness of the cylindrical disc using the external jaws, we are going to take reading over this metric scale. Right. As the Vernier scale works with the help of the two scales, that is the Vernier scale and the main scale, to calculate the total reading for the thickness of this disc, we need to find out the two readings. First one is the reading on the main scale and the second is the reading on the Vernier scale. To take the main scale reading, we are taking the reference of the 0 on the Vernier scale. As we can see, the 0 on the Vernier scale is coinciding in between the 8th and 9th division of the main scale. So here the main scale reading will be 8 mm. The reading for the Vernier scale will be taken as the division on the Vernier scale which perfectly coincides with the main scale. Now as we can see, the 15th division on the Vernier scale is perfectly coinciding with the metric scale division. Now we are going to see the procedure for calculating the least count for the various instruments. The first instrument under our experimental study is the Vernier caliper, and we are calculating the least count for it. As we know, the least count is calculated using the formula smallest division on main scale upon total number of division on the Vernier scale. As we can see here, the smallest division on the main scale is 1 mm and the total number of division on the Vernier scale is 50 divisions. So using the formula and the numerical values, we can calculate the least count for the Vernier caliper, which is 0.02 mm. Therefore, using the least count, the total reading calculated for the thickness of the cylindrical disc is as follows. The main scale reading can be observed on the Vernier scale using the 0 datum of the. Using the least count, we are going to calculate the total reading for the thickness of the cylindrical disc using the Vernier caliper. So first reading we have to note down is the main scale reading. As we can see, the main scale reading on the main scale of the Vernier caliper, which is given with the reference of the 0 datum of the Vernier scale. As we can see, the 0 is matching between the 8th and 9th division of the main scale. So the main scale reading here will be 8 mm. So main scale reading found is 8 mm. The next reading which we need to find out is Vernier scale reading, which is calculated using the Vernier scale division and the least count for the instrument. The Vernier scale division is the division which is perfectly coinciding with the main scale divisions. As we can see here, the 15th division on the Vernier scale here is perfectly coinciding with the main scale division. So 15th Vernier scale division into the least count for the instrument, which is 0.02 mm, is giving 0.3 mm, which is the Vernier scale reading. Finally, calculating the total reading, which is given by the main scale reading and the Vernier scale reading, is 8.3 mm. From today's experiment, we have learned about using the Vernier caliper for taking the linear dimensions and also finding out the least count for the various instruments.